Hello, hello. So let's see what's going on over here. Says here, facts about Iceland. Facts about Iceland that make it unlike any other country. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm pretty sure it's like other countries, like Greenland. I don't know. Not long ago, I don't care what you did before. Let's get to the Iceland facts. Visiting the interesting country has been in many bucket lists, not mine, and it's probably being added to even more bucket lists at this very moment. It's only natural that you'd want to know more about this place. To that end, we'll probably present another collection of facts about the Arctic nation to quench your wanderlust. Wanderlust thirst. There we go. Lava bread. Icelandic rye bread is often cooked on the ground in hot volcanic sands. Sometimes it's called lava bread or volcanic bread. That seems kind of pointless. Ovens have been invented. You're just using heat. There's no need to be all extra with it. It's just bread. Most of Iceland is uninhabited. Yeah, that's the same for every other nation. Most of America is uninhabited. Most of any land, country, wherever is uninhabited. Because people wouldn't be able to survive if we inhabited most of the land. Like, you need space for wildlife and all kinds of other stuff, the stuff that feeds us and whatnot, creates oxygen and all that stuff. Most of Iceland is uninhabited. If you're looking to get away from all the crowds, get a little bit more in touch with nature, Iceland was great for it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Got it. Ooh, it looks kind of, I don't like the colors. It's kind of drab. And just a single house just out by a mountain. That's not a fun place to live. That's a lot of traveling, man. Many of the remote uninhabited areas can be visited, but we recommend checking with experts first. Nah, that doesn't sounds like exploration to me. Super Jeeps. Iceland is bursting with rugged and demanding landscapes, with many of them being off-road, remote, hard to reach. So they don't have a very good roads program, which is why locals use super Jeeps. Ooh, them tires are thick. Got a BBL on them tires. Looking nice. These modified trucks can often have an elevated suspension along with massive tires to drive through snow, ice, and across deep flowing rivers. Yeah, man. No wonder most of it is uninhabited. What are you going to do with this? All this snowy, useless trash. Like, what are you going to do with that? Mild summer temperatures. What is going on over here? Okay. When we picture Iceland, we might imagine freezing winds and heavy snowstorms, but that's not the case in summer. I thought I thought Greenland was icy and Iceland was green. That's how I remember those two places. Okay. So in the summer they got flowers like every other place with flowers. God damn, they love bright colors. I guess I would like bright colors too if my land looked like this. Like it's so drab. The flowers are kind of nice, but like Jesus Christ. Is it just the photo that's blurry, or is it just like the landscape is just constantly blurry? Iceland's average high temperature in the summertime is only 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. With overnight average summer low being 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so the low is not that bad considering where you started. Yeah, I mean, you started from here and now you're there. So it's never gets too cold either. It's nice, very temperate. Keep your foods nice and okay. Traditional Icelandic food. Many of Iceland's traditional foods have been regarded as strange and bizarre by most people standards. Yeah, you use volcanoes to bake bread. Like that's just extra. You got too much time on your hands. In part due to the popular foods that originate from the Viking Age. Okay. Hakal. What the hell is that? Is that some sort of bread? Is that cake? What is this? Just throw up? You just got throw up in a bag? Dried cod? Yeah, man, that was gross as hell. Fermented shark? Well, you got to ferment the shark. How often do you get sharks? And hakal, as Icelanders refer to it. Okay, so it's shark. So that this is shark. This bread looking thing is shark. Damn, I would have been deceived. If I bite into that and it's a goddamn shark, and I was expecting some kind of pound cake, be pissed off. I'd spit it out. It's considered a delicacy in Iceland. They sound like they're deprived. They're very deprived of delicious foods. So they just settle for this nonsense. Fresh shark meat is actually poisonous. So to combat this, I didn't know shark meat was poisonous. It is buried in a shallow sand pit under heavy rocks and left to ferment for several weeks. Wow, they do extra. They do real extra in Iceland. They need to get some modern conveniences and stop this nonsense. They love burying shit, putting it in sand or whatever. Do they still have blacksmiths out there just pounding metal with a goddamn hammer? Like these people are backwards. Coca-Cola in Iceland. Oh, they still got the cocaine in it. Even though Iceland is touted for being one of the healthiest countries in Europe, I mean, if your population is small enough and your tradition is kind of backwards, then yeah, you're not going to have a lot of preservatives in your food and stuff like that, so you would probably be healthy. It's officially the world's most thirsty consumer for Coca-Cola. Icelanders knock back 417 bottles a year per capita. Wow. That's a lot of sugar. Drekid Coca-Cola. It's cult. The advertisement is still bland as shit. Look at this. Just breaking through a wall with a hand. Hey, drink it. You want it. You ain't got much going on. You eating fermented sharks and shit. That's that's higher than any other country at about 8 a week each. To put that in perspective, Americans on average drink about 3 colas a week. Telephone directory. Seeing as Icelanders don't have hereditary last names, because there's like they just add someone's daughter or their son or whatever to their last name, and the whole culture is on a first name basis. Telephone directories in Iceland list their residents by their first name alphabetically, with no mention of last names as they don't have them. All right. What is this? Jord Dild? The hell? So 1, 2, 3, 4 that way, and then 5, 8 that way. This is backwards. Shouldn't the 1, 2, 3, 4 be over that way? Okay. Iceland's telephone directories are called the White Pages phone book. It's because everybody's white. And yes, it's a very small book. Well, the population is small. The police service in Iceland. Icelandic police don't carry any weapons or firearms. Well, I mean, it probably takes some time to get to the crime scene and get enough time to pick up some weapons. Being responsible for law enforcement throughout the country, the police have found that they don't need to use weapons like firearms or tasers to carry out their duties. Oh, okay, that's cool. No wonder. Get female cops. uh, when crime in Iceland being so low and violent crime is mostly non-existent, Iceland is considered one of the safest countries in the world. Yes, you will get that with a small population where everybody pretty much know each other and they live so far apart. By the time you get there, they probably resolve their own disputes. Someone tried selling the Northern Lights. Icelandic poet and lawyer Einar Benedictson, born in 1864, was an editor of Iceland's first daily newspaper and tried to sell the Northern Lights. To who? Benedictson believed Foreign investment could better utilize Iceland's natural resources. So he spent years touring Europe to try to find a buyer and hopefully raise some capital for Iceland. He's an idiot. What is someone's going to do with lights? Snowland. The first known Viking to reach Iceland in the 9th century was named No Nadordur. Okay. Did he have a speech impediment? He was actually swept off course and dragged westward from the Faroes when he discovered a large country with no sign of civilization. It still kind of looks like that. Oh, well, it looks like they get some okay. So ice rinks or what's going on? It just goes down into doesn't look safe. According to legend, he was surprised by the snow in September and decided to name the island Snowland. Went to a different land, and he was surprised that there's snow in September. Shouldn't be surprised that you're in a different place than what you're trying to get. This man is an idiot. A little town called Husavik. The town of Husavik, along with northeastern coast, has long been known as the whale watching capital of Europe. Wow, they're bored out of their minds. Whales don't do shit. I'm not watching them. One could also visit the whale museum at Husavik. Come on, man. You watch the whales? Why do you need to go to a museum? You've already seen them. They throw up water a lot. They're really big and they make odd noises once in a while, which is nonprofit that, well, hopefully it's nonprofit. You see the whales for free. That forms the educational component of the whale watching trips. Oh, some color. Nice. All right. This little town also featured in Netflix movie, a Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga. Sorry, what? That's a movie? The Midnight Sun. During the summer, an annual event happens called the Midnight Sun. I know the Midnight Sun. That's like Marvel, right? For a few days, the sun can be seen at midnight. This invites many golfers from around the world to grab their clubs and make for the course. Sorry, what? The sun can be seen at midnight, so you go golfing. Really? Do they do anything exciting? The group, you're watching freaking whales, you go into the whale museum and you go golfing. The group of golfers are playing at midnight and yeah. Okay. What does that say? Fall guy? Okay. The smallest nation in the World Cup. This fact is a little more recent, plus it could be one that you might already know. Iceland is the smallest nation ever to qualify for the World Cup. Okay. Well, they did it. Good on them. Wow. Okay. Uh, like I couldn't even like if I could watch this picture for like 2 hours and see those guys in real life walking past me one by one and just not register who the hell they are. Many of the players actually have regular day jobs, but they better. From a filmmaker to a dentist, despite being such a small country, Iceland's team is actually pretty good. Oh, good for them. Iceland was once covered in trees. And then the snow got to them. One of the few things about Iceland that's not exactly ideal is that this interesting fact before the Vikings plundered Iceland, 40% of the entire island was covered in trees. Well, they need to build boats. What do you want? However, the new inhabitants needed all those trees to build homes, boats, and declare the land for, yeah, obviously. No pet reptiles. While uh, Icelanders can own a pet dog or cat, it's illegal to own a pet reptile, even though they exist in Iceland. Why? Pet snakes, turtles, and lizards were banned in the early 90s after it was found that someone was infected with the Somal Salmonella, which they contracted from their pet turtle. Okay. So many swimming pools. Despite the weather, Icelanders love swimming, and accordingly, it has the highest swimming pool to human ratio in the world, so you needn't fret about being bothered by other swimmers. Oh, public swimming pools. It's easy to make. Huh. Okay. God damn, the people are pasty. Look at it. Look at how red this guy's face is. Ooh. In fact, swimmers are more likely to find themselves taking a dip completely alone in one of their many pools, lagoons, or hot springs. The only war, the Cold War, which is mentioned in another slide, was the only war waged in Iceland. That wasn't a war, and it can barely be called a war. Yeah, it began as a dispute between the UK and Iceland over fishing grounds. Just what? In the 60s and 70s? Bruh. If you want to take, I don't know what's wrong with the UK. If you want to take Iceland, just take it. Like, what would they do? They're like Canada. It's worth mentioning that besides these confrontations, Iceland has never participated in anyone else's war or been involved with an invasion of any kind. Nobody wants that. I'm not gonna roast them anymore. Enough about the Iceland facts. They don't deserve my vitriol. Anyways, until next time.